Hey guys, I'd like to talk about childhood trauma and how it haunts us for the rest of our lives until we start paying attention. Most of us don't know the word trauma originates from the Latin word for wound, right? And basically it means your brain is wounded to the point that you stop functioning healthily, right? A lot of us grew up in a very hard and harsh environments. We never knew just how that life really affected us. And for me, it was just watching my parents fight so much. And I was emotionally and physically abused as well by my dad, mostly. There was a lot of violence that I witnessed around me. And so it devolved into something that really affected how I interacted with the world. Many of us grew up feeling very powerless in our homes and in our schools, because remember, what was taken as discipline was actually just torture for most of us in our schools, from primary school all the way up to high school and to some extent even universities, because you find that students and pupils are really dehumanized in our schools, in our classes, by school administrations. In our boarding schools, remember how prefects used to treat us. I don't know if it still happens, and so many of us also witnessed or went through a lot of bullying as well because of different reasons. And so we were really affected by people around us, our environment, and the external environment affected our internal environment. And as we grew older, so many of us did not get an opportunity to understand just how much pain affected our brains. Yeah. And so we get into relationships, we get into the workforce, we try to accomplish our dreams, but we find that it's getting harder and harder for us to really feel like we are happy. Relationships are not working. People are not happy with their jobs. You have to adhere to crazy schedules, crazy deadlines. Traffic in Nairobi is crazy for those of us living in the city. You sort of feel like you don't have good friends. People resort to drinking and substance abuse or sex addiction or just many other things or activities that people indulge in to sort of just escape. And the thing is, our brains want to escape because they're looking to balance what we're going through or what we've gone through. They're looking to balance the chemicals. Things have to go back to an equilibrium. And so when you're not okay, when you're not fine because of past wounds, you have to go through the right system of healing for you to really feel like you're healthy again. And for most of us, a lot of those pains came from relational issues, right? It was our dad, it was our mom, it was sexual assault, it was somebody making you feel powerless or voiceless or that kind of thing. And right now in the conversation of mental health, we have more than 200 mental illnesses. There are many, but the major one right now in the world is depression. And you find that there are so many things that inform our situations of depressive moments. For some of us, there are things that are totally out of our control. And so because we lack the language to express what we really understand, what we really feel in our minds, it's really difficult to explain to people around us, like, this is what I really feel and I don't understand it, because they also don't understand it. They can't understand it without a language. And so, I'm calling out for just a keener understanding of self-awareness, in the sense that we are not just here for the sake of making it, for the sake of having these relationships or doing good in our jobs, but we'd rather be better at our understanding, our understanding of our brains and how our brains function and how pain has really affected how we see the world, right? Because I feel a lot of the problems we're facing in this world today is really caused by our upbringings. Because when we were most vulnerable, things were done to us that we felt were very irreversible. And we grew up in that pain, in that silence, thinking that this is how life is. But at most times, it's just because nobody has ever told us that this is the meaning of what you went through and this is how it really affected you, right? Very few people have access to therapists, very few people have access to psychiatrists. Our mental health hospitals in Africa right now, they're in just deplorable shape. Kenya is just on the verge of passing a mental health bill, and I'm trying to see how much more networks I can gain across Africa so that we could start influencing policies, but more so to raise awareness about mental health, because we've gone through a lot of transgenerational trauma as a continent, and it has affected how we see ourselves way back from colonialism, and how our governments were shaped, and then neocolonialism came, and we still are having a hard time understanding who we are at this time in the 21st century. And so we need to have very honest, naked conversations about who we are as a people, because without that identity, then our minds are not in peace. And so if you went through something when you were a child that you've never spoken to someone, and this thing is eating you up, trust me, there is no other way you're going to get out of it until you face it. It's really difficult, because most times it's easier to drink it out. It's easier to smoke it out. It's easier to just say, I'm going to put myself in work and this is how my life is going to be. But it keeps coming back. It will keep coming back until you face it. And for most times, it means having healthy relationships around you. Most of us don't have that. We don't have real friends. We don't have a healthy relationships with our body. We don't have a safe environment where we can say, this is where I go to let go, right? And so, in as much as medicine in mental health is a big conversation and it's helping some of us, in the long run, sustainably, we need healthy environments, we need social justice, we need political justice, we need environmental justice, we need personal justice for us to heal. Our childhood traumas will keep haunting us until we start paying attention. That's it for today. Thank you for watching.